when we shot and put out our first film, when we were on set, we didn't have an editor attached yet. So we really didn't know like how we knew how we were going to edit it, but I mean, to find an editor who could talk about our creative vision was something that we felt like was kind of difficult to do because not a lot of people know out there. And this podcast is for the up and comers trying to break into the entertainment industry. So
Oh,
our
okay.
pitfalls are definitely worth the stories and worth the conversations.
Yeah.
But if finding a really good editor or even a decent one can be very expensive. And when we are indie filmmakers, we put in a lot of our own money, or we resort to or look at different things like crowdfunding or angel investment and different things like that. So it's very important to look at all the different avenues and look at all the things that you feel like are most important for each of your films. So don't feel bad about any of it. We're right there with you. Trust us. We're in the pre-production stage of our next film right now, and boy, oh boy, it's looking interesting. That's for sure. Because we're going from a one certain size budget to a $15,000 more. So it's going to be very interesting to
Right.
see how it turns out. But we're hopeful. You got to be positive in this industry to keep moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for as far as editors are concerned, like my first film, the cinematographer did the editing,
Mm.
and it was supposed to be a comedy. And when I got it back, it was like it wasn't a comedy.
Oh goodness.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had funny, yeah, he had edited the funny out. So I found another editor, which is always hard because you have to take the project away.
Yep.
Yeah.
And and she's been my editor on all my films, although I have to say, my third film, I actually attempted to do another editor,
Mm.
and I don't know what he was thinking. He definitely edited out everything. It was like so dismal.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Funny how you can have all these people, this collaboration, everything perfect. You got a great cinematographer, great gaffer. You're in love on the set. The acting is flowing, and then you get to post production. You go, "What happened?
You
Yeah.
Where's my
literally,
Yeah.
yeah.
film?"
Well, and that's a great point because I talk about it all the time. And
Mhm.
an editor is the most significant part of the crew because they can make or break your film. You can have the best script and the best acting and the best directing possible, and they can make it look like it belongs in, a cartoon back end bin somewhere, right? Or they can take a subpar film and make it look like it's Oscar worthy if you have a good editor. It really is critical to find somebody who knows what you want, right? Understands your vision and can deliver on your vision because it's so crucial. I don't think enough people understand the editing process. And sometimes it's as simple as taking out one scene or shifting
Oh
one
yeah, or a
one
frame.
or a
Just a
frame.
frame.
Yeah.
Exactly. It changes the entire scope of the film. And yeah, it's so critically important. It's like, no,
In this
this was.
film, my new film, 42 Seconds, well, hopefully, I don't want to say, but there was some acting that didn't work.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And so what we had to do in editing is edit completely around it.
Mm.
Oh.
Like, I can't explain it, but like the, the actor that didn't work, we would just sew a frame and then you throw it on the other actor and then took the whole thing from a different point of view.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
amazing what editing does. It's
Right?
like 1 second and you can recreate,
Yeah.
you could stall a film. My film before this, it was actually at the Phoenix Film Festival and my partner and I were watching it and we looked at each other and we go, this isn't working. So we went
Oh
back and
no.
had to re-edit it because the
Hmm.
story, it just wasn't building, it was stalling.
Yeah.
So we took everything out, I'm not an editor, but I sit there with the editor and watch the magic.
Yeah.
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 Most definitely. And I mean, just to be able to maneuver around everything and to have that open dialogue, I feel like is important too, because we also went through a few editors trying to find the right one for our project. And sometimes there was certain people who were like, well, if you did it this way, that wouldn't really make sense here, or we want to shorten your film down to this because of the attention span, and but we're like, but you're getting away from our vision. We're the directors. We are the ones that are putting this out, distributing it, and you're getting away from our vision. So we, like you, we've had to, find different ones to try to navigate and to overall tell our vision. And I think that's what's most important because, I like you said, things can get completely lost on the cutting room floor that should be in the forefront of the actual film. So it's always very funny, but it's so interesting too, because do you ever go back and watch the films with family members, friends, and like nitpick it and see the little tiny things that they don't even notice? I think that's always one of the most fun
Oh,
things to do.
yes. Right. I sit in, when it's being screened, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then, but that's okay because I feel like what you love right then and there, you might hate a year from now because you're a different storyteller at that point. You would have done it a different way at that point. And that's okay because art is supposed to be interpretive anyway. So it doesn't matter. It's like how whoever sees it at whatever point, at whatever time is going to interpret it the way they want to interpret it. And you just have to be okay with letting it go. It's like, I've put it out there now. It is what it is. This is how it was when I made it, but maybe even I think it's different, now than what it is. But as an artist, you just have to realize that that's the process, right? You just put it out for the world to digest and ingest, and then you're like, okay. Because, yeah, I know. I go back and I look at our first film, and I'm like, yeah, we could have done this, and we could have done that, and now I would say it this way, or now I would say it that way, but it's okay. That's the whole thing. I love that process. And it's interesting because you said you threw it and then you took it from a different angle and everything, because one of I think the most critical mistakes that early on filmmakers make, and it's no doubt because it's balancing the budget, trying to figure out how you can do it,
Right.
how can we afford it or whatever, but not having multiple cameras or not being able to get multiple angles, because when you get into the editing room, if you have a bad actor, you have a scene that's not working, and you have no other shot to cut to edit to, then you're in trouble. So the idea of, even if you have one camera, make sure you're coming at it, let's shoot it this way, let's shoot it this way, let's do this, because the more your editor has, the better film you're going to have. Because I see so many young filmmakers make the mistake of, they have nothing to cut to.
My second film, we were letting the camera roll after we called cut. And this is a great advice to filmmakers as well. Let it roll. The actors will relax. And if you have an actor that's pushing, you're going to get a more natural performance.
Yep.
And you could just take a reactive shot, or you can take a line of dialogue, or have them improv a little. At least there's something that
Yep.
you can turn to if an actor's pushing, or
Yes.
they don't
Yeah.
know the camera's rolling.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.